Hey everyone, yeah, no fancy intro this time. Kinda fell behind on schedule when producing this video, and just about most of this video is being crunched the night before it goes up, hence why I'm kinda cutting right to the chase with everything in this video. Also, I'm having a lot of webcam issues, so you won't be able to see me this video. Next week though, I should have it sorted out. So hope you understand, still enjoy the video. Okay, so what was last week? Homestead? Suppose we can do the recap there still. I wasn't able to see any part of this race during stage 2, and awfully fantasy's most important period if you ask me. Right before that, however, can we talk about the abundance of sleeper picks cracking the top 10 stage 1? I mean, we're talking the likes of Byron, Alex Bowman, Ryan Newman, Chris Buescher, most importantly, also winning that stage as well. Regardless, half of Jackuwarz 1 fell outside the top 20 with Ryan Blaney being caught in a crash with Eric Almirola on lap 200. It was a topsy-turvy day for Denny Hamlin, and if not for a late race speeding penalty on pit road, he could have finished a few spots better than 11th, maybe even a top 5. Elliott saw 25 earned bonus points, but most of the same issues as Jackuwarz 1, Logano outside the top 20, but mixed with results not that impressive by Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott. Dang, Homestead was a fairly decent outing for Ricky Stenhouse under his standards on non-super speedways, with a 13th place showing, but I think Vegas should be another opportunity for him. Oh yeah, that's right, Logano and Blaney anchored down this lineup too. Same goes for the lack of bonus points, but at the very least it had Truex. Nah, still too many dents here to get it above even 150. Barraging Tyler Reddick stunk, and likely he stays in the lineup, over if I was able to see the entire race. Oh no, not you too, no Chevy. Yeah, no Logano, but look who's there instead. Almirola with even worse results. Harvick is top forward? Alright, nah, that means nothing. It's a dismal 125 result here. Although gotta say, you love to see Michael McDowell continuing to put in yet another top 10. Wow, the idea of starting so many Penske cars did not work. But hey, Keselowski was easily the best last Sunday. You get the picture by now. It's a below 150 point stay thanks to Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Christopher Bell. Alright, here comes the big sting. So who knew that by saying your only avoid heading into last Sunday's race would end up being the winner of it? And in dominating fashion, might I add. Honestly, where did that come from, Mr. William Byron? You started 31st. And did you manage to win with stage points, might I add? Just over a healthy 17 to be exact for a big jumbo. Wish I could have had them. Total of 57 points. Martin Truex Jr., he had the second most after finishing third, with 49, 15 of them being stage points. Third most was Kyle Larson in fourth, with 44, 11 stage points included. Busch proving he got it done on one of his weaker tracks yet again, earning 10 stage points and finishing 8th, even after pitting for a loose wheel with 30 to go. And then to round out the top 5, it's your choice between either Alex Bowman or Kevin Harvick, both scoring 36 points. Then if you want to subtract 1 point from that, you'll find Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick, who the latter made a surprising comeback to finish second. It was due to the changing track conditions in its transition to nighttime. Yeah, second year in a row I've had a rough outing at Homestead. Honestly, it stems from constantly playing Joey Logano, which for there I'll definitely remember for next year's race. In brighter news of this recap, if you take my rosters and combine the best results from each of them, then they're still very solid, not too far off from being a lineup that I would realistically construct, but then again, foregoing a single Penske driver, that's not easy to do at Homestead. Alright, they don't call it a brand new week for nothing, as it's another opportunity to score big in fantasy, but who to pick here at Las Vegas, my home track? It's just northeast from where I'm at. Well, I'll tell you. Kevin Harvick, he's starting on pole for this week. In the last 4 Las Vegas races, he's finished no worse than 10th. He's won this race in 2018 in March. So if the stage points to finishes is an indication, Harvick is right up there for one of the must-plays. And regardless on how many uses you have left at this point, he's your first consideration. Starting on the outside of Harvick is William Byron, last week's winner. Now his numbers at Vegas aren't something to exactly jump on. He's only had 1 top 10 here in 6 starts. But I'll take the advantage of his starting position. After all, in the last 3 races, he's earned at least 1 stage point. And for the stats alone, he'll likely have low ownership. And if you invest in the play and he pays off, then you can definitely gain a lot of ground. Starting third is Kyle Larson. Just like Kevin Harvick, Larson should be right up there with one of your must plays for this week. In the stage racing era, he's finished no worse than 12th. And besides that 12th place finish in March of 2019, he's also made sure to earn some stage points every race here. And honestly, I don't think it'll be too long until Larson knocks on the door for a win. He was very much in position to do that last week, and with Vegas operating a similar way to Homestead by running the top groove. And this is a track that's definitely right up in Larson's alley. Another big must start at Vegas. Starting 4th is Martin Truex Jr. In every Vegas race in the stage racing era, he's always scored stage points in every stage in Vegas. He won the 2019 September race and the 2017 March race. And similar to Harvick, starting Truex this week should mean tons of stage points. Starting 6th, and is my first avoid for the week, is Denny Hamlin. Not that Denny Hamlin's numbers are bad here at Vegas. Go back to last September where he finished 3rd with 19 stage points. Easily the most points that race, but you're only given 10 uses with Denny Hamlin, and you gotta pick 16 tracks where you don't use him. This is the odds maker track where you can probably go with the save. I'm considering the same for Phoenix next week, as well as Atlanta the following week. In 7th is Kurt Busch, the winner of September's race, and for this week he's kind of a mixture of sleeper play, possibly a blind spot pick, but at its core, I think he's a cautionary play. You should definitely surround Kurt Busch with big name plays if you decide to have him in your lineup this week, because outside the win and a top 5 in March of 2019, Kurt Busch's finishes in Las Vegas since 2017 have not been very good. None of those finishes were inside the top 20. One thing that these outside the top 20 finishes don't show you is that Kurt Busch can get some respectable stage points at some races, and honestly I think the win is a turning point for him with his luck at Las Vegas. Kurt can definitely perform at Vegas, he just needs to get more consistent finishes. Chase Elliott starting 8th. Just like all the previous drivers I've mentioned, he's earned stage points in every single race here. 2 Februaries ago, he swept the stages, and in the September race last year, he gained a whopping 17 stage points, with one of them being a stage win. But in the same story as Denny Hamlin, this might be a week where you want to try and get a save for Elliott. Just remember, 10 uses, 26 races, 16 of those you can't start Elliott. Alex Bowman starting in 9th is my other big blind spot pick for the week. He's had 2 top 6 finishes in 3 of the last 2 Vegas races, and just like with all the other drivers aforementioned, he's very consistent at earning stage points here. That in Vegas is a very similar track to Kansas, which Bowman is also incredible at. So in some cases, I'd definitely rank Bowman right up there with Harvick, Truex, and Larson, and with the ownership currently being very low for Bowman this week, could carry you a long way. Rounding out the top 10 starting grid, he has the highest average finish at Vegas in the last 6 races there, Keselowski. Taking away Keselowski's 13th place finish at September, he has a string of 10 consecutive top 10 finishes here, dating all the way back to the Gen 6 debut in 2013. But to be honest here, I think you can get away with not playing Keselowski at Vegas. In the last 3 races here, no stage points. His finishes have been steadily getting worse with every start here, and since winning the September race in 2018. But ask anyone else, they'll tell you that Keselowski might be the number 4 driver heading into Vegas, and should be amongst one of the top heavy hitter favorites. Starting 14th is Kyle Busch, and in the Vegas races as of 2017, he has consistent to mixed bag results. If we pretend that he didn't get spun out by Joey Logano in the 2017 race, he gets a top 5 there, and we're only looking at the September 2019 and the February 2020 races as his only finishes outside the top 10. Honestly, it comes down to, can you fit Kyle Busch in your lineup? Do you think he'll outperform drivers like Martin Truex, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, or maybe even his older brother Kurt? Which personally I like a tad bit more than Kyle here, but if you're like me and haven't had a start with Kyle yet, Vegas is not a terrible place to play him. And looking ahead to Phoenix and Atlanta, this could be a good stretch to start deploying some more Kyle Busch plays. In 15th is Joey Logano, with the 2nd highest average finish in the stage racing era at Vegas. Taking away his 14th place finish last September, he has 9 straight top 10s here. I also mentioned he scored stage points in every single stage racing era Vegas races. Logano joins Truex as the only 2 drivers to win multiple races in the last 6 Vegas races. If you're like me and you're scared to play multiple Penske drivers and you're looking for just one, then Joey's your guy. Going deep in the field here, Ryan Blaney at 26th. Just like his 2 Penske teammates, Blaney has had plenty of success at Vegas, finishing inside the top 10 6 of his last 9 starts here. In this race a year ago, Blaney was very much in contention to win, just like Alex Bowman, but with the late race caution, the 2 decided to pit and were mired in traffic. Unlike me, if you're not rattled with playing multiple Penske drivers, maybe even deploy all 3 of them, then besides the starting position, I don't see too much issues with playing Blaney here. It's one of his better tracks. I'd take it over Atlanta. Next week at Phoenix is also historically a good track for Blaney. So if there's a track to turn around his sluggish start to the season, then this week at Vegas is definitely it. My final driver to consider for this week is Matt Benedetto, starting in 30th. Now his results with Go Fast Racing and even Levine Family Racing may not be very persuasive, but in his 2 starts here with Wood Brothers Racing last year, he notched a pair of runner-up finishes. And arguably, if you want to play Benedetto at a non-road course, then Vegas is definitely it. And also the opportune track for him to turn his season around, just like Blaney. After a very disappointing start, you have the best shot at getting a decent result with Benedetto, because you might not be too fortunate with him later down the season, as Kentucky, one of his other better tracks, that's off the schedule. And Sonoma, that's still 3 weeks away. Jackuwarz 1, I'm striking more of a balance this time. No question, I got Harvick, Larson, Truex, and Logano in here. I don't have this lineup ignore Alex Bowman either. Then we'll go Kyle Busch. He'll be the first play I have for this roster. So good enough to justify the play there. I'm bringing back the same strategy with my bonus picks from last week, and having the winner stretch all over the place. Truex being the race winner, Ford as the winning manufacturer, with Hendrick Motorsports being the winning team. You could always have Chase Elliott in the top Chevy to cover possibly not him being in your lineup. I think Larson gets the top Chevrolet for this week. That pole position is going to be tough to dislodge Harvick at Vegas for the top Ford. I see Joey Logano being a worthy second candidate for that, but advantage Harvick with that track position. Top Toyota, we're going Truex. Kyle Busch can also sneak in there, but Truex has the most consistent results out of that Toyota bunch. You could put Denny Hamlin in here instead of in your lineup. It's a strategy that would have worked in the September race, definitely. And one thing with having Ford as the winning pick, you can get those 10 points from either Harvick, Logano, Keselowski, or possibly Blaney. In Waste Elliott, we're getting that 4th Chase Elliott play burnt down, and we'll accompany him in a Hendrick trio with Larson and Bowman, Harvick and Truex, of course the Vegas staple, and then one Penske driver, Ryan Blaney. I'll stash him in the garage. I like the idea of Chase Elliott winning in town, but with that race winner pick, the safer bets are either Harvick, Logano, or Truex, with a distant consideration for Brad Keselowski also. A 60-40 split between Hendrick and Joe Gibbs possibly winning. At most, I'll get 15 points if Truex wins. In Pick Stenhouse, no question, Ricky's going to be in there. I'll have the one and only Penske duo this week for my lineups with Keselowski and Logano, Harvick, Larson, and Truex. And we got Larson all the way here, Logano and Kyle Busch for their respective top manufacturer finishes. In the Hendrick camp, I really like Larson's chance at winning this Sunday. Alex Bowman comes dead close, maybe right next to him. Plus, I like the idea of Hendrick backing up the Homestead win with another one at Vegas. In No Chevy, we're going for another blend of deep sleeper picks and anchor point must-play drivers, Harvick, Truex, and Logano being a part of the latter. As for the other half, I'm conducting the sleeper experiment with Chris Buescher, Matt Benedetto, and Michael McDowell. So long as McDowell has them starting positions and keeps getting them top 10s with them, we're going to keep getting them high points paying plays with McDowell. Just going to keep riding the McDowell plays until the wheels fall off. I'll play with the idea of Kurt Busch doing something similar to last September. Maybe not win, but definitely have a very good finish for the top Chevrolet. Something tells me that Brad Keselowski could be the top Ford, albeit without stage points. And if not a Chevy or Toyota winning Vegas, then Harvick is a very solid option to win on Sunday. So with the race winner, winning manufacturer, winning team, I'm going all out with my picks there. Finally, Jackuwarz World Network. This lineup surprisingly has yet to get above 200 points. That ends this week. We're loading this lineup with Hendrick power of Larson, Byron, and Bowman, with the big three of Vegas and Harvick, Truex, and Logano. But ultimately, I like the idea of Alex Bowman winning Vegas, because like with Michael McDowell, Christopher Bell, and William Byron, just gotta continue the wacky string of weird winners in this early 2021 season. Seeing Bowman win, that would definitely fill that status quo. He's the race winner, winning manufacturer, and winning team here. There you have it. Those are my thoughts heading into Las Vegas and what my lineups will be. Again, apologize for no camera, and possibly if this video feels a little rushed. Honestly, it just wasn't a very good editing week for me. Videos should be back at 100% power for Phoenix. I'll continue to provide cleaner videos for you guys. With the race being in the West Coast, for East Coast viewers, the race might be a little bit later. It's 4:30 Eastern Time. And if you're like me and got burnt by Penske last week, this should be a good week to bounce back in. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the race this Sunday. Happy fantasy. I'll catch you next time.